In the sleepy town of Ravenswood, nestled in the heart of the Whispering Woods, a sense of unease settled over the residents like a shroud. It started with whispers of a mysterious train, one that rode the rails under the cover of darkness, its cars filled with an unspeakable horror. At first, no one believed the rumors. Trains didn't run on the abandoned tracks that wound through the woods, not since the Great Crash of '57. But then, people began to vanish. At first, it was just the occasional loner or curious teenager, but soon entire families were disappearing. The local sheriff, a grizzled man named John, was tasked with uncovering the truth. He assembled a team of deputies and set out to investigate the strange occurrences. They followed the tracks deep into the woods, searching for any sign of the phantom train. As they delved deeper into the forest, the air grew thick with an eerie, unnatural silence. The trees seemed to loom over them, casting long, ominous shadows on the ground. Suddenly, a faint whistle pierced the air, sending shivers down their spines. The train was coming. Sheriff John and his team hid behind a thick veil of foliage, watching in horror as the train rumbled into view. Its cars were old and rusted, with broken windows and crumbling seats. But it was what was inside that made their blood run cold. Zombies, hundreds of them, packed into the cars like sardines, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. The train roared past, leaving the sheriff and his team stunned and terrified. They knew they had to act fast, to stop the train before it claimed more victims. But as they gave chase, they realized that this was no ordinary train. It seemed to have a mind of its own, twisting and turning through the woods with an unnatural agility. And the zombies inside, they seemed to be changing, evolving into something even more terrifying. As the night wore on, the sheriff and his team found themselves in a desperate fight for survival. They fought off hordes of zombies, dodged deadly traps set by the train's sinister conductor, and uncovered dark secrets about the train's past. But the closer they got to the truth, the more they realized that the train was just the tip of the iceberg. A sinister force was at work in Ravenswood, one that threatened to consume them all. In the end, only Sheriff John was left standing, facing off against the mastermind behind the zombie train. A figure from his own past, thought long dead, with a grudge against the world and a thirst for revenge. The final showdown took place on the train itself, as it roared through the woods, zombies and all. Sheriff John fought with every ounce of strength he had, but in the end, it was his wits that saved the day. The train was destroyed, the zombies were stopped, and the sinister force was vanquished. But the memory of that terrible night would haunt Ravenswood forever, a reminder of the horrors that lurked in the darkest depths of the human heart. And Sheriff John, forever changed by his encounter with the zombie train, would ride the rails no more. As the dust settled, Sheriff John stood victorious but scarred. The zombie train was no more, but the memories of that fateful night would haunt him forever. He couldn't shake the feeling that there were more secrets lurking in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. Determined to uncover the truth, Sheriff John began to dig deeper into the train's past. He scoured the woods, searching for any clues that might lead him to the mastermind behind the sinister plot. Weeks turned into months, and the sheriff's obsession with the case only grew stronger. His team began to worry about his health, but he couldn't rest until he had uncovered the truth. Finally, after months of searching, Sheriff John stumbled upon an old abandoned mine deep in the woods. He cautiously made his way inside, his heart racing with anticipation. As he explored the mine, he stumbled upon an ancient laboratory, hidden deep beneath the earth. The walls were lined with strange equipment, and the air was thick with the scent of decay. In the center of the room, Sheriff John found a journal belonging to the train's conductor. As he flipped through the pages, he discovered a dark conspiracy that went far beyond a simple zombie train. The conductor had been working for a secret organization, one that sought to unleash a zombie apocalypse upon the world. The train was just the beginning, a test run for a far more sinister plot. Sheriff John knew he had to act fast. He gathered his team and set out to stop the organization, racing against time to prevent a global catastrophe. The final showdown took place in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. Sheriff John and his team faced off against the organization's leader, a cold-blooded scientist with a passion for the undead. The battle was fierce, with zombies and bullets flying everywhere. But in the end, it was Sheriff John who emerged victorious, the scientist lying defeated at his feet. As the dust settled, Sheriff John couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. He had saved the world from a zombie apocalypse, but he knew that there were still secrets lurking in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. And so, the sheriff's journey continued, a never-ending quest for truth and justice in a world filled with darkness and terror.